Martha MacCallum is a familiar face on Fox News, calm and composed behind the anchor desk. But away from the cameras, her life has carried weight few viewers ever see. She endured the loss of both parents, faced health scares, and lived under constant public scrutiny. These moments didn't unfold on air, but they shaped who she became. This is a quieter side of Martha MacCallum, and why her story is sadder than most people realize. For decades, Martha MacCallum has been known for her steady presence on The Story with Martha MacCallum, guiding viewers through breaking news with control and confidence. Yet behind that professional composure lies a deeply personal journey marked by grief, fear, resilience, and controversy, much of which the public never sees. One of the most painful chapters of Martha's life was the loss of her mother, Elizabeth MacCallum. Elizabeth battled breast cancer for 13 long years, a fight that stretched across much of Martha's adult life. During that time, the MacCallum family lived with constant uncertainty, balancing hope with exhaustion as they supported Elizabeth through treatments and setbacks. Despite the disease, Elizabeth remained a symbol of strength, maintaining optimism and a deep devotion to her family. Martha has often spoken about how her mother's resilience shaped her own outlook, teaching her how to face hardship with dignity. When Elizabeth passed away in April 2013, it wasn't just a loss of a parent. It was a loss of an anchor in Martha's emotional life. Years later, in 2025, that grief resurfaced in a moment that stunned viewers. During a live broadcast, Martha received what she believed was a routine fan letter. But as she read it, she realized it was written by her late mother. The emotion overwhelmed her, and she broke down on air, unable to hide the pain that still lingered more than a decade later. That moment opened a rare window into her private world. It reminded viewers that even seasoned journalists carry wounds that never fully heal. That same year brought more emotional moments. In November 2025, her daughter Elizabeth, named after Martha's mother, sent her a heartfelt letter honoring their family's legacy. Then in December, her son surprised her on set with roses and another letter, reinforcing how close the family remains even through loss. But 2025 also brought another devastating blow: the death of Martha's father, Douglas MacCallum. Douglas passed away in March 2025 at the age of 92. In a tribute shared publicly, Martha described him not just as a loving father, but as a wise friend who shaped her values and worldview. A Navy lieutenant during the Korean War, Douglas carried himself with humility and quiet strength, traits Martha credits for her own sense of discipline. His death left a void that no amount of professional success could fill. Losing both parents within a few years forced Martha to confront a painful reality. Success does not shield anyone from grief. Even as she navigated these personal losses, Martha continued to carry the emotional burden of the stories she covered. One of the most haunting experiences of her career came after she watched unedited footage of the October 7th, 2023 Hamas attack on Israel. Invited to view the footage at the Israeli consulate, Martha saw raw video from body cameras, civilian phones, and security systems. Images far more disturbing than anything broadcast publicly. She later described it as the most horrific material she had ever seen. One moment in particular never left her. Two young boys, around 8 and 10 years old, watching their father die from a grenade before being forced into a kitchen by armed militants. One child was injured, confused, screaming for his mother, asking why they were still alive. Martha has said that scene remains burned into her memory. Another clip showed an attacker calling his parents to celebrate what he had done. These images, she said, took a deep psychological toll, not just on her, but on every journalist who watched them. She felt compelled to share the truth of what she witnessed, believing that bearing witness was part of her responsibility. Yet the emotional weight of her career extends beyond war reporting. Health fears have also shaped her life, especially after losing her mother to cancer. Elizabeth MacCallum was diagnosed with breast cancer at 65, and her long fight deeply impacted the entire family. Martha has spoken openly about how that experience changed her approach to health. She now undergoes regular screenings, including annual mammograms and MRIs, not only for peace of mind, but to set an example for her children. That vigilance proved vital when her sister Jane was diagnosed with breast cancer before age 40. Caught early enough to be treated successfully, cancer wasn't the only loss in that painful period. In 2013, the family also lost Martha's grandmother, Cecilia, making that year one of the darkest in her life. The combined losses forced Martha to confront mortality in a way that permanently changed her outlook. She has since emphasized the importance of medical advocacy and having a clear plan when facing illness, lessons learned through heartbreak. But Martha's story isn't defined by personal loss alone. Her career has also been marked by intense public controversy. In April 2021, she faced backlash for comments about the death of George Floyd. On her show, she raised questions about toxicology reports and substances found in Floyd's system, echoing a narrative circulating in some media circles that suggested drugs, not police restraint, were the cause of death. Medical experts and official investigations later confirmed that Floyd died due to restraint by officers. Critics accused Martha of promoting misleading narratives and reinforcing harmful stereotypes. Supporters argued she was exploring legal angles of the case, but the moment remains one of the most criticized of her career. She faced further scrutiny in 2025 when she commented on Donald Trump's record on LGBTQ rights, suggesting she had never seen anything indicating hostility toward the community. Media watchdogs quickly pushed back, pointing to documented policies such as a transgender military ban and the removal protections for LGBTQ students. Martha never directly addressed those criticisms on air, leading many to accuse her of minimizing documented policy actions. Her interviewing style has also drawn attention. In August 2020, she clashed on air with Hawk Newsom of Black Lives Matter Greater New York, repeatedly pressing him on whether looting was morally acceptable. When he refused to answer directly, she ended the interview mid-segment, a rare and tense moment in broadcast journalism. In April 2025, she pushed back sharply when Randy Weingarten of the American Federation of Teachers called her sweetheart during a debate, drawing both praise and criticism for asserting professionalism. Despite all this, Martha's career has endured. In 2020, she revealed another deeply personal side through her book Unknown Valor, a New York Times bestseller that blended military history with her own family's legacy. The book tells the story of her uncle, Harry Gray, who died at Iwo Jima at just 18 years old. Using letters he wrote home and extensive research, Martha brought his life and the lives of thousands of forgotten Marines into focus. The book wasn't just history. It was an act of remembrance, a way to honor the sacrifices that shaped her family long before she was born. Through it all, Martha has leaned on her family. She has been married to Daniel John Gregory since August